I think it's high time that the UN Convention on Refugees, the 1951 United Nations Convention on Refugees, read together with the 1967 protocols, which we call Egyptian Convention, it allows people who are running out of their country because of fear of persecution and that they cannot get any kind of protection within the borders of their country to seek asylum. Now, what is intriguing here, I being the lawyer for CHADEMA, I remember during Magufulli's time, I represented God Bless Lema, I represented my friend Tindu Lisu, who was my classmate at Warwick University. I was also arrested when I went back to Tanzania in Arusha. I thank the late Raila Amolo Odinga, who called the president of Tanzania to release me. The reason I went through that trajectory is, as you see these people right now, the Kenyan records have been closed on registration of refugees. Kenya is signatory to the Vienna Convention. Kenya ratified that convention through parliament, and therefore it became law. Now, ministerial statements have come up with violation of international law by now requiring refugees who come into this country or asylum seekers to go to Kakuma Dam. Kakuma. I was told this morning by the registration of refugees to take these people with me to Kakuma. Recently, or 2 years ago, you must remember, when there was a proclamation to close the refugee camps. Now, what are we going to do with the human rights, fundamental human rights, by taking the very people who are running away because of fear of persecution to Kakuma? Is that not a violation? I'm asking the Kenyan government to look at this. I've been a refugee myself in the United Kingdom. Is this how we are going to treat people? Look at the East African Accord, East African Community Regulations on refugees. They are also adhering by each member state to the United Nations Convention. It's really appalling, it's damaging, because they have nowhere to go. They came to my office, they have no monies to represent themselves, they have no money to buy food, they have no money to get shelters, because all the shelters were closed because of government policy. I'm asking Kenyans, wherever you are, come out in big numbers and support Tanzanians in this country. Ukimwona Mtanzania amekuja kugongea mlango na wewe ni Mkenya, tafadhali mwapishe ndani, mpatie maji, mpatie mahali pa kulala, mpatie protection. Because now the system has violated its constitutional duty to protect. I'm asking Ruto, what are you going to do to protect these people? Mnataka nibebe hawa watu mgongoni niwapeleke kwangu. Nitafanya nini leo? Kenyans, wherever you are, the media, can you also intervene for these people? And there are many. It's not only just these few. These are leadership. Can you ask Kenyans to open up shelters to take in refugees? Remember when the Holocaust took place, all the Jews who were being killed, there were people who were good Samaritans who helped those who had survived the Holocaust. I'm telling the world, there have been no condemnation by Kenyan leadership. There have been no condemnation from the opposition. I'm asking my brothers from the opposition to come out and also support this cause. Instead of doing other things of which they have a right to do, kindly come out. I would like Kalonzo to issue a statement. Kalonzo is my brother. Eugene Wamalwa, Mheshimiwa Gachagua, Matiang'i, come and issue a statement condemning the atrocities that are happening in the neighboring countries. I'm also condemning the Kenya government for having recognized this woman who has breached protocols of humanity. And I would therefore take this opportunity also to thank the President of Botswana, for refusing to recognize this illegitimate regime. That regime, it has to go. And how it will go is up to you, Gen Zs. Continue doing what you are doing in Tanzania until you make sure that you are free. You have heard what this young man has said. He's a Gen Z. When they're fighting for their rights, somebody's busy killing them. incarcerating their bodies, putting them in machine, and therefore wanasiaga miili yao ili evidence isipatikane. And that's what we know is happening in Tanzania. And the police who are doing this and the army, one day you'll be held to account. Wewe unamuua ndugu yako, manake umeambiwa na mtu mwingine uende ukamuue. Unamteka nyara ndugu yako, dadako, because unafanya kazi ya serikali. It is high time those kind of commands be disregarded. And therefore, I conclude to say, and I conclude by asking the government, you have a duty and obligation under international law, under Vienna Convention 1951, and under the protocols that go together in tandem with the convention, the Egyptian protocols, the 1968, that it's time, it is high time, the government opened up registration of refugees coming in and giving them shelter instead of putting them kama maabusu. Unapeleka mtu unamweka concentration camp. Na huyu ni mtu ambaye alikuwa na mwalimu kwa nchi yake. Huyu mtu alikuwa daktari kwa nchi yake. Huyu mtu alikuwa anafanya kazi ya maana. Anakuja hapa badala ya kukimbia ukimbizoni umsaidie, unaenda kumweka kwa camp. Why? I end my case there unless there is any question from the media. To go for the inauguration. So what does that say? That means he has legitimized the illegal regime in Tanzania. And then if he has done that, he has given a hand to Suluhu to do what he wants with the Kenyans. And that's why Kenyans are being raided across the border. We have not had a government statement on that. What do we have to say? They have no voice. We don't want a blanket statement saying that, oh, Kenyans. No, you have legitimized the regime, and therefore, what are you going to tell us to hear? And these are Genesis who now are being killed because they have nobody to protect them. They are citizens.